Unless you have the perfect body and never have any of that grief, huh? Just wait. If enough time goes by, it sets in. They say one of the definitions of old age is when things quit working, and the things that still do work hurt. That's a terrestrial body. But there is a celestial body, like unto the resurrected body of Jesus Christ. He's drawing a comparison here and a contrast. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. He's saying they're very different from each other.
That's right.
Praise the Lord.
Very different. In fact, Jesus said at one point that in the resurrection, ye shall be as the angels. Ye shall be as the angels. What's that worth to you? Amen. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars, for one star differeth from another star in glory. Glory here means magnitude or brightness. The sun is brighter than the moon. The moon is brighter than the stars. Primarily because it's so close to the earth and the stars are so distant. The stars are much larger. I'll tell you what, all these stars that are out there, at least 30 billion of them that we know of, and they still don't know if that's right. All of them are bigger than the earth.
Right.
But they all differ in glory or magnitude. They're all different. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. When that person, the casket is lowered down, that is a temporary house that person lived in. That body is just temporary. Quite obviously, because it's lifeless now. And so, it is sown, planted, buried. In corruption, but it's raised in incorruption. It has incorruption in it because it has the promise of God that that grave will be opened. And I got news for you, every grave will be opened.
Amen.
No exceptions. When Einstein said he wanted his body burned, cremated, and the ashes thrown over the Atlantic Ocean, he said, I challenge God to resurrect me. Albert's going to be there.
That's right.
God knows how to call the ashes together. Amen. He made man from the dust of the ground. He can certainly call a bunch of ashes together. No, Albert, you didn't escape. He knows it now.
Amen.
He wasn't as smart as he thought he was. E equals MC squared. So what? What's the big deal? They look at him as a great, wondrous man. Now, the government has named one of their projects after Einstein. Did you know that? They got this Einstein program. Actually, there's two different things going on. One is, and they've admitted this, they can find every one of the 277 million cell phones in the United States. They can pinpoint it right where it is. And the other is they are now monitoring all email and all internet browsing. That's a lot of browsing, but they have computer equipment that can do it. And they're looking for certain buzzwords that would indicate to them that you're opposed to what they're doing. By the way, one of those buzzwords is homeschool. Oh, they're keeping an eye on things. They're watching. So what? Give them something to watch. Give them something to listen to.
Amen.
Amen. We don't walk in fear. Now, so he says there's a difference in all these stars in magnitude. And then telling us about the resurrection. In verse 42. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power.
Amen.
Praise the Lord.
It is sown a natural body. It has raised the spiritual body. See, those people who have gone on to be with the Lord, they're going to come back when He comes back. And they're going to return to that grave. And that grave is going to be opened. And they're going to come forth as an angel. Like unto an angel. That's the sequence. Isn't that exciting? You know, years ago, how am I doing on time? Okay, we're all right yet. Many years ago, when the country of Germany was still separate states, and you can go over there and see this if you go to Bonn, Germany. If you're ever in Bonn, go and see this. There is a German princess there that's buried in a cemetery. And on the gravestone, it says, "This grave sealed forever, never to be opened." No, let me change that. It's Hanover, Germany. I'm sorry. It wasn't Bonn. It was Hanover. "This grave sealed for eternity is never to be opened." And there's a large rock, several rocks there with steel bands around them. The problem is that when they were throwing the dirt in the hole on top of that carcass and inside the box, some squirrel must have been running around and dropped an acorn in there. And it germinated. And it grew up, and the force of that tree split the steel bands, pushed the rocks apart, and opened the grave. It's called the open grave of Hanover.